Hi, everybody. My name is Hector Valdes, and this is my book review presentation for our digital citizenship class Info 5347 in the fall 2025 at the University of North Texas. Let's get started. The book that I am going to review is titled Fake News and Alternative Facts, Information Literacy in a Post-Truth Era. It was written by Nicole A. Cook in 2018, and you can find it using the ISBN that's listed on the screen here. This is the Kindle ISBN, and you can find this version or other versions of the book by Googling that ISBN number. So what is the purpose of this book? This book has several purposes. The first one is to explain how misinformation spreads through social media and news platforms. And the author makes a point to stress that fake news is not something that's new, but has increased significantly since about 2018. So in 2018, there was an increase in alternative facts disseminated by the US and other foreign government organizations. So up until now, misinformation had been available, had been um, in existence, but leaders of governments had not really been using it, but there was an increase in about 2018. So the other purpose of this book is to equip librarians to teach patrons how to identify and resist false information. So information creation and consumption are a significant part of our lives, and they influence how we interact with others in digital environments. Another purpose was to show how emotion and bias affects people, the way people process information. So users actively seek and use information that aligns with the way they think and the way they behave and the things that they are familiar with, as opposed to be able to use it to um, used in a different way. And this could lead to potentially conflicts of information. And it could also lead to conflicts of information from various sources. Uh, Another purpose of this book that the author argues is that people interpret information through emotion and belief rather than logic. And then she distinguishes between misinformation and disinformation. And she stresses that using emotional awareness and real world examples to expose bias and strengthen judgment. So, misinformation she defines as information that is incomplete, uncertain, vague, or ambiguous. And disinformation she interprets or defines as dissemination of deliberately false information. Cook also argues that digital skills alone do not equal critical literacy, and that patrons must learn how algorithms, advertising, and media systems can shape what they see and believe. So the intended audience for this book is for librarians that are working in public and school settings, as well as library educators and leaders that are responsible for designing media and information literacy programs, and any information professionals who support community learning and outreach programs. These are the credentials about Dr. Cook. She is an assistant professor in the School of Information Science at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. She is also the program director for the Masters in Library and Information Science program at that same university. Dr. Cook is active in the Association of College and Research Libraries, as well as ALICE. Her interests include human information behavior, critical culture information studies, and diversity and social justice in librarianship. And she has published articles in multiple prestigious journals, including the Library Quarterly and Library and Information Science Research, as well as published several books in addition to the one that I am discussing in this presentation. So the materials that she uses throughout the book include holding effective group discussions, which can be used to promote inquiry and have open debate among the individuals. The author suggests that engaging in group discussions allow patrons to compare how different news outlets cover and report the same event, which helps identify emotional framing and bias. She also recommends that we use checklists that focus on authority, accuracy, purpose, and credibility, which will allow patrons to verify news and assess bias. And then Dr. Cook encourages librarians to distribute these checklists to patrons as quick reference tools. Um, Also, she recommends using curated reading lists and fact-checking tools, which can help patrons authenticate and repudiate suspect information. Dr. Cook provides a list of trusted sources, including Snopes.com, PolitiFact.com, and FactCheck.org as trusted sources that can be used to verify if information is factual or not. And she suggests that librarians feature these sites and facilitate their use among patrons. She uses various examples in her book and then asks the reader to determine whether these are truthful or not truthful. And here's a couple that I wrote, four of them from the book. The first one was that Ariana Grande was left bloodied and dazed after a Manchester bombing. That turned out to be false. And the next three turned out to be true. Native American names were deleted from Facebook. J.K. Rowling, who is the author of the Harry Potter series, mocked President Trump for tweeting in the third person. And then a man mowed his lawn during a tornado. Those three were true. So I chose this just to show that, different people read different headlines. These are just some examples, which may or may not be valid for what you're specifically interested in, but they come in many different shapes and sizes. So I just wanted to show these. So how do we move beyond fake news? Well, the first thing we can do is triangulate, so we can verify for at least 2 or 3 independent sources. We need to check our own biases and make sure that we are not believing or not believing something based on our own personal beliefs. And then we check the source. And again, we can use the references that I mentioned earlier as sources to be able to assess whether something is truthful or not. Is the intended purpose accomplished? I believe yes. This book provides an excellent source of information that library staff can use immediately. They can use with patrons to educate them about misinformation and disinformation. This book also combines practical instruction with brief theory on information, behavior, and emotion. And this material is supported by multiple examples and adaptable exercises that can be used to support real library programs facing challenges with fake news and misinformation. I would definitely recommend this book. This book is very easy to read. It's understandable by individuals seeking to learn about fake news and alternative facts. And Dr. Cook's book can be used as a standalone guide or in conjunction with other materials to educate patrons about this topic. So thank you very much. This concludes my presentation. I thank you for taking the time to view it. Uh, in the following slide, I present the actual information about the book in case you're interested in picking up a copy and reading it yourself. Again, it is called Fake News and Alternative Facts, Information Literacy in a Post-Truth Era. It was published by the American Library Association. It was written by Dr. Cook in 2018. Thank you very much.